Long Island to bring you the constant variety of sports. That's WBAU. This is Jim McKay suggesting you stay with us on 90.3 FM.
You are listening to a sports exclusive over 90.3 FM, WBAU Garden City, Long Island's best sports.
Good evening and welcome to WBAU's Weekend Sports Diary for December 27th, 1981, recapping the biggest sports items of the weekend. Good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Gambino.
And I'm Doug Miles.
Tonight's top story, New York's hopes for a Super Bowl die or lie with the Giants.
That's right, Steve. New York's first Super Sunday in 12 years is over now, and as the dust settles, it's clear that just one of our two hometown football teams is still in the running for the real Super Sunday, January 24th. That's the Giants, and WBAU's Jeffrey Payne tells us all about today's big victory in Philly.
The New York Giants are headed for San Francisco after their 27-21 upset victory over the Eagles in Philadelphia in the NFC Wild Card game. The Giants jumped out to a 20-0 first quarter lead before the Eagles had a chance to blink. The Giants capitalized on Eagle turnovers. First, Wally Henry couldn't find the handle on a Dave Jennings punt. Lawrence Taylor recovering the fumble. Quarterback Scott Bruner got the Giants on the scoreboard with a 9-yard scoring strike to Leon Bright. The Giants couldn't convert the extra point, but on their next possession, Bruner drove the Giants the rest of the field, completing the march with a 10-yard touchdown pass to John Missler. On the ensuing kickoff, the Eagles' Henry fumbled again, and Mark Haynes picked up the loose football in the end zone for a 20-0 Giant lead. After Giant killer Herman Edwards picked off a Bruner pass and returned the football to the Giants' 26, Eagles quarterback Ron Jaworski hit Harold Carmichael between the safeties with a 15-yard touchdown strike, and the Eagles were right back in the ball game. But the Giants struck back quickly. Bruner firing his third touchdown pass on the day, this one to Tom Mulledy, and that sent the Giants to the locker room with a 27-7 halftime lead. The Eagles got a touchdown in the third quarter on a 5-yard Wilbert Montgomery run. Joe Danello missed a fourth quarter 32-yard field goal, which would have driven the Eagles to extinction. But the revived Eagles then drove 80 yards, 44 coming on 3 Giant penalties. Montgomery closing the gap to 27-21 with a 1-yard touchdown run. The Giants then ran out the clock, with Rob Carpenter getting the call on every play, picking up 2 clutch first downs in the final minute, and finishing the day with 161 yards on 33 carries. He was the Giant difference as the Giants knocked off the Eagles, the defending NFC champs, 27-21. Giants, who've won 5 of their last 6, their only loss coming at the hands of San Francisco, will meet those same 49ers next Sunday. For Sports Diary, I'm Jeffrey Payne.
We've had our say on the subject. Now, WBAU's chief sports analyst, John Andrews, has his own thoughts about today's Jets and Giants wild card games, and John thinks both teams have learned a lot by both winning and losing today.
For the New York Jets, today was a day of slipping and sliding, a day of falling behind, catching up, and almost pulling off a fantastic finish. For the Giants, today was an offensive display, the Giants scoring more points in the first quarter than they did in half of their games, and hanging on. And for both clubs, today meant hope for the future, for the Jets next year, and for the Giants next weekend against the San Francisco 49ers. In their AFC wildcard game today, the Jets were schizophrenic against the Buffalo Bills. For a while, they looked like the team that lost to the Bills 31-0 back on opening day 16 weeks ago. But then they turned into the Jets that went 10-2-1 over the last 13 games of the year. A staggering fourth-quarter deficit set the stage for 10 of the most exciting minutes in New York Jet history. Richard Todd with a spotty but strong passing game. Greg Buttle with 2 key interceptions that set up the first 2 Jet scores. Mickey Schuler, the little-used tight end who scored his first touchdown all year. They were heroes all, and they came up only 1 pass short of meeting the Cincinnati Bengals next weekend. Meanwhile, in the NFC wildcard match, the Giants jumped all over the Philadelphia Eagles, another schizophrenic team. The Giants, riding a 3-game winning streak against the Eagles, losers of their last 5. The teams split their 2 regular season games, as had the Jets and the Bills, but this time the Giants hung on to their lead, and they won in much the same way that the Jets lost. They'll be meeting the 49ers next Sunday in San Francisco. So what does this mean to the teams? Well, by virtue of the Jets' 10-5-1 record, they won't get a chance to grab any of the obvious standouts in this year's college draft. That's okay, though, because the Jets have no glaring deficiencies at any one position. Any rookies they might pick up next year will only add to a young, strong, and promising team. Wait till next year, Jets. I'm sure we'll see them there in the playoffs again. They're a team with youth, a team with enthusiasm, and above all, a team with heart. As for the Giants, they've got perhaps their most important game in 18 years coming up against the team that sports the best record in football. The 49ers beat the Giants 17-10 just before the Giants' final surge that lifted them into the playoffs. My official predictions for next weekend: Miami over San Diego by a touchdown. Cincinnati over Buffalo, they beat them by 3 earlier in the year. Dallas is going to roll over Tampa Bay, look for a rout there. And finally, sorry Giant fans, San Francisco will edge the Giants, just as they did earlier this year. For WBAU Sports, I'm John Andrews.